vacancies to fill, we have a list there. Appointments, applications. Shade Tree Fund draft ordinance discussion. I think we left that the last time that Shane, you and I were going to talk to the mayor, right? And I did not.
Yeah, and I've seen the mayor, and I forgot to talk to him.
So I put that on my notes. What do you have to find out from the mayor? I just want to find out his position and see where he stands.
Oh, if you. Oh, that's right.
He's taking each other. So I just want to talk to him. Anything about Cintas we should know, Shane?
Yeah. You have an update. We received the full report from their consulting agency. That full report we sent straight to Bill Howard for his review. And he makes Bill Howard is our environmental scientist. Yeah, he's the one that he had been our consultant, I guess, for a couple of years now, working on that. I guess he's some kind of geological background. And the second copy is the public copy of the report. That is sitting at the Emmaus Public Library. There's a 30-day review period on that. We do have comments that we are sending back. Bill Howard, Jeff and Brian and I, because Brian had worked in geological type of stuff at 1.2. We sat down, talked about the report a little bit, and Bill is going to put together a letter saying, basically, we don't feel that, although it's a very detailed report, but we don't feel that they did enough in their research in terms of the dye testing. We have questions about kind of dye, did they use enough dye, some of those things. So,
Can I ask a question? If I remember correctly, they hired the company they wanted to do it, or did we pick who they want?
no, they hired them.
So they could hire.
EPA, DEP approved the company.
Oh.
The company that they use is it's the best of the best.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like, Jim's architecture firm down the road. It's very reputable name. So, but on the other side of that is they're working for them.
Right.
So
that's what I wanted to know.
So they're going to give their client their product, but on the other side they have to act ethically. And we think that the report does, but there's just questions that we have at this point. Our whole issue is, the reports are saying that they did these dye tests and they don't think that the dye is making it to the drinking water. Okay, I mean, that's basically what the dye tests say. Our concern is, did you use enough dye? Did you use the right kind of dye? Did the dye that you used just dissolve somewhere?
So you want more detail?
We want more details.
That's our biggest concern?
That's our biggest concern, because what they're saying is, if the dye is not making it to the drinking water, then our drinking water is not getting polluted by Cintas. And again, this is from years ago when they had that chemical spill. Our feeling is, though, that they need to give us more information, because if their information is adequate, then that means that there's a very good possibility that it didn't make it to our drinking water. On the other side of it, the report does say, it has to be continued to be monitored, and I mean, they have some other remediation stuff that they're looking at, but that's kind of where we are at this point with it. Now, after this 30-day period for doing this, then we get something else. All we're doing is questioning them on their processes right now, I guess. That's really all that we're really doing. And then there's another 30-day period and a public comment period down the road again, where we'll be able to kind of really drill them about the results of this, or we don't like the action steps, or whatever it might be. I guess the initial position that we'd like you guys to take is that we don't need to involve an attorney. We need to involve a geological scientist. We need to have somebody with a background in geology, right? Geology. I'm right. I'm in the right field here, right? Okay. Because they're the ones that are going to be able to speak intelligently about this. Having Jeff Dimmick look at this is futile. He doesn't know what that dye is for the life of him, and whereas Bill Allard is kind of his background.
It might actually be hydrology.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. It's hydrology.
Well, in the report, I did see geology mentioned in it, though.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it could
it's
be maybe both.
Hydrology is the movement of fluid.
right. It's the fluids. Geology is the earth,
The
right?
substrates,
It's, one or the other. It's
Well, it's somewhere there,
the science people.
yeah. Okay, good. So you're satisfied with where we are?
You can see we're qualified.
yeah, yeah.
Well, we know if you don't need the attorney.
Right. We know that
I
much.
tried,
Find the person we need.
what you sent us, which was just an overview, I tried reading that as it's like my head was spinning. I was
Yeah,
like, you know what? We need
it's-
somebody who knows what they're doing on this.
Yeah, it's it's like a binder, you know, as far as the report. And you open it and there's maps that, quite honestly, I had a hard time. You know, I'm reading through it and going, some of the stuff I just don't get. I mean, it's just kind of beyond my scope.
The end result, after the report and the hearings and the comments, what is the end result? That they're released from all
Not necessarily.
future? Or is it
No.
just, what
We just
is the
wanna-
end result at the end of this process?
We want to make sure right now that they're not polluting our water, and if they are, they have to remediate it.
Okay.
Okay, that's the whole goal here. And if they're not polluting our water, we want to make sure that it's going to be continuously monitored so that if that chemical spill happened, sometimes it could take a decade for that stuff to reach.
So they'll never be really released from
No,
responsibility?
absolutely not.
But it may be to a point where they only have to check it every 5 years or something.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just using that as an example.
right, yeah. Yeah, that's basically,
Okay.
in a nutshell, that's what it could come down to. At the end of the day, if DEP says you're clear, our recourse is we better be asking questions now, type of thing, you know? So that way, we're putting on the record, you know, we want to make sure you're doing the right testing. We want to make sure that you're continuously monitoring. So that way, if something does happen, we can say we were protesting right up front.
Now, the incident that happened at Cintas last year, does that have anything to do with this
No.
study? Or those were just
Yeah.
violations separate from this?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was before Centos bought the building. Or
When Russ had it.
Restaurant.
Yeah.
Russ.
Apparently they found I don't know if it was a crack through the floors, or I don't know how it went, but bottom line was they found a chemical spill down in the bedrock. They feel that from doing their geological survey, the type of rock down under the ground is why the dye isn't making it into the water stream. Then it's going down and dissolving into this bedrock. You were a science teacher, weren't you? You would know 3 times more than I do about this stuff.
So the rock could be sucking up the dye, but the water, the stuff still goes
Be
in?
preventing it
It
from
could be
flowing.
preventing it from
Preventing
from
it maybe from-
flowing.
Okay.
Is basically what that's what I understood from it. My understanding could be completely off, but so that's where we are with it.
How about the safety committee?
No update from the last meeting. We meet again next Tuesday before our staff meeting, and Brown will be at that meeting.
Okay, good. We're working towards July 1 with this new software hardware. We're still on target for that.
Yeah.
How about Brown? I didn't see you.
Yeah, I received an email from him yesterday, moving forward with things, so.
And pieces are related to new software, hardware. Social media, anything you want to say about that?
Yeah.
It's the packet to look through.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a rough draft of a policy with guidelines here.
Is it thinner than this one?
Yeah.
I like the pictures.
I think this is what we're going to try to work off of in the future. Bottom line is, we give them guidelines for their personal pages. You can't tell them they can't have them, but you can say you're not allowed to put pictures of our property on your sites. I've seen police officers with their uniforms on in front of our police cars, type of thing on their pages. I don't like that. Police departments in general don't like that. People do it. I mean, is it a big deal? It can be. But it was just like it was just like Chief Faust told me yesterday. We were talking briefly about this, and he said he saw they had a chief's meeting, or the chief sent an email. Guy that lives in the Lehigh Valley, a police officer, had a T-shirt on that said "Bad day for the bad guys," and it was a bust that they did the day before, and he was standing beside 4 marijuana plants, and he posted it on his Facebook page. You know, I mean,
Stupid.
right. This is kind of like,
Super Trooper material.
yeah.
Oh, he knows the movie. He knows the movie.
I have it.
Yes, he's one up on you.
This kind of addresses, you know, in some broad terms that, you know, that's our goals. We don't want to allow that. But even more importantly, if you go down to number 8, that's the new material that I added from something that you probably already saw. I think this section here was most of it, but number 8 was like, if you're conducting business on an approved borough, we made a social media page. So if we approve the Arts Commission to have their own page, or the Parks and Recs Commission, or we have our own page, or the Police Department has its own page,
These will be the guidelines.
this would be the guidelines. Okay. The rest of it is really employees using their own personal pages, but number 8 would be using our own, you know, as official borough business. Okay.
Now,
Go ahead.
because it's still like, I remember you saying we have an officer with a picture of him just by a police car, I think, on his face. So he would have to remove that then?
Yeah, we would ask that he removed it.
So somebody that has a picture, like the mayor had a picture of him sitting at his desk and he put it on his homepage, or on his Facebook page.
At his desk, like at his desk in the office, if you can't see like our property type of thing, you know what I mean? It's okay, because it's, you know, he's wearing like his own. What I don't want is a picture of, you know, Chief Faust in his blue police uniform standing in front of, you know, our newest Dodge police car.
Okay. And
That's kind of what we don't want to see.
I want to just kind of understand the logic behind it, because
The reason
to
is,
me, like, that seems harmless.
yeah,
But
it is,
is
but
it because it associates that with whatever his views are voiced on page?
exactly,
Facebook?
exactly. It turns into the whole thing. People associate him, and they already do, you know, but they associate him with being he's the Emmaus police officer. Well, now he's in there ranting and raving. He doesn't like Democrats or Republicans or something, and now it's the
Now
well,
you got the connection.
exactly.
And will that be explained to everyone when this policy's put out there?
Yeah.
That
Yeah, what I don't want to do is I don't want to be voting on policies without staff seeing these types of things first.
Okay.
You know,
and understanding.
and understanding. Absolutely.
All right, and I'll find.
Is this going to be any issues with any of our unions? No? Okay.
And remember, what we're saying is it's our property.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want you putting photos with our property in there. We have the right to say that. Okay.
Is there,
You know, one of our, for example, if we're taking pictures of our police dog, our police dog should not be on a social media page. It shouldn't be.
If we wanted to put it on the borough social media.
We have the authority to do that. If we do it as an
On
official,
their personal.
if we do it as an official use, we have the right to do that.
what about borough events and they participate that and they have photos taken and they put it on Facebook page? Like Earth Day, for example.
We don't care about
and
it.
they have the
Yeah.
orange vest on and they
We don't
take
care.
pictures.
We don't necessarily care about that. It's more of the. I don't want them taking pictures of our equipment or the insides of our buildings, or you know, because what it ends up turning into is now we're taking pictures of what our jail cell looks like. You know, now we're taking
That'll never
pictures
happen.
of. What's that?
That'll never happen.
Right, exactly. It better not happen.
That will never happen.
That's what you're trying to prevent. And I'm not saying our guys do any of this. Okay, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the practice, the logical common practice is that you ask that this policy includes don't take photos of borough property for personal pages and post them on a social media page. If you want them at home in your personal collection, I could care less. You know, but you sharing it to the world, that's a problem.
My only
You know.
suggestion would be if maybe put it somewhere in here that if somebody has a question on a photo, have it cleared first.
I think it's
I
in
think
there.
it says that.
Yeah,
And that would be great, that covers it
Yeah.
then. If somebody, you know, like that picture behind the desk, can I put it on or not? They get to clear, you know, I mean, we have somebody who officially would say, yes, it's good. Was that?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was me. I think is what we have in here.
I mean, as long as it's somebody that has some
Yeah, I
accountability
think
by
it's-
saying, yes, it can go on there.
I think
Or
it's
no, it
me.
can't.
Yeah. Oh, right at the very end. Any
Yeah, the
employee
last sentence.
may address any questions on the policies of our manager. You know what we want to do is the chief is also researching some policies for police departments on social media pages and see what they say. One thing that we want to start doing is making sure that his policies and procedures, when we have policies like this, are consistent with what we want to do, because he's getting them from already accredited places, and it's stupid to have two different kinds of policies. So we want to make sure that what he's researching, what I'm researching, are one and the same. I'm not saying that he has to use ours and we have to use his. What I'm saying is those two just need to jive.
Shane, is it fair to say that what we have here has been used by other
Yes.
boroughs? So it's been through the mill, it's been
Yep. This
tried and
is
tested.
this is pulled right off of most of this has been pulled off of social media policies that are already out there through PSAB. And what I did too was that big thick thing that I got from Pelross, from all those attorneys. That was incorporated in the.
Is this similar to private business also?
Yes.
Policy?
Yep.
Okay.
Good, that's fine. Thank you, Shane.
Step forward. Yeah, I don't think we're not ready to vote or anything like that yet, but I think this is a good start.
It's the ball moving, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
Could you
start.
put a copy of this into Wes's mailbox for this?
I will, yeah, I will.
And we'll just talk about it one more time and then decide where we want to go with this as far as.
Absolutely. Maybe we wait to June to talk about it again, so that way it gives Dave some time to do his research. If that's okay. Yeah.
Okay, we talked about the future council meeting schedule. I have that down below under action needed. Cancel July 2 and August 6. Resolution to create a junior council member position. I have that down there number 2. And you'll have that in the packet then? Shane?
Yeah, it's already being put in your binders. Yeah.
Okay. And then you've got a request at a poll. Now, did we agree that we have to post this, or we have to pass this by council, or just going to let staff? I think it was just that staff was going to monitor this, wasn't it?
We sent out.
Well, we did approve it 3-0.
Yeah, there's documents that need to be signed though. So they should come to council, because we have to have
Okay.
authorize the signature.
Yeah, and what we put in there was if a tree's affected.
Well,
Or trim.
trees, right. Okay, so you'll have that for Monday night for us also.
PPO poll.
Yeah, we have to sign the right-of-way agreement or something
It has to be approved by council.
to authorize the signing of the agreement. Yeah.
Okay, we'll take care of that. Any new business?
Yeah. We filled out the CDBG grant application. We need to pass a resolution to apply for the grant. It's the same thing we apply for every year, $50,000 for handicap curb cuts. So if it's, and the curb cuts were, I think we're looking at 6th Street this time.
Did they change the handicap ramps again?
Again.
Like the bumps have to be a different color now or
It's-
something?
You know what the scary thing is we do all this and in 5 years
It changes
it
again.
changes again. But we do want to apply for that grant again. Okay, I mean we do it every year. Last year was the first time in years I think we haven't applied for it.
Is it matching or straight?
10%. So it's five. So
Is that
you apply
right?
for 50,000. It's a $5,000 match. Yeah, it could be. Our total project cost is estimated to be about $69,000, but we can always pare that down. But right now we're asking them for 50,000. All right, and so I would ask for you to, and if you want me to go down and get it, it's the same exact resolution we pass every time. If you want me to go down and get it.
We didn't do it last year.
No, you didn't do
I
it.
don't
last
remember
time.
that either.
What's that?
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, you have. 2008,
Okay.
2010. I
Oh,
found the
I
resolution.
understand that, but I don't remember ever coming to a committee to go through.
You probably
Well,
don't.
This comes up
Yeah,
under
you
road
probably
usage
don't.
report that he's applying for.
Okay.
I was going to put it under new business.
But
You
that's
want
fine.
So you
for
don't need a
your,
recommendation from this committee?
no, that's, I mean.
I think put under your
New
manager's
business,
business.
yeah.
Alright. I'll put it under manager's business or new business?
Or, I mean, theoretically,
Either way.
public works, I mean, I have
Yeah.
that tomorrow, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just put under manager's report.
Yeah, it's fine. It's something we've always done.
Mhm.
Alright.
What other new business do you have?
That's really all I have, other than, a couple of things to talk about in an executive session with you.
Okay, Brent, any other new business?
No, I guess this banner request went to staff, because they weren't asking for, like, a waiver or anything on it. The,
Is it
third
the-
annual Beer Fest and Car Show, this was given to us from, well, I guess maybe it wasn't even given to us. I don't know, I just have it from one of the last meetings. I think it was the last week.
Waco?
No, this is from the Main Street Partners. They want to hang a banner for 3 weeks for the Beer Fest / car show, which is October 6th. I don't know, I don't think they're asking for a waiver on that. I don't know, for some reason I'm carrying that around.
I know you are.
Yes,
I was baffled yesterday.
I don't think they asked for a request, so I guess they pay that fee
Yeah.
and it just goes up and
Yeah.
handled through
Yeah.
staff. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Okay, it's done.
Leanne, do you have anything?
Yeah, I had gotten a phone call from Richard Farmer, president of the 1803 House. There's a possibility that Rodale might be willing to give the borough land. We're supposed to have a letter in our packets Monday.
Yeah, you will. We spoke about it at Recreation Committee last night.
Okay. This kind of came out of the blue.
Yeah,
so I
behind the
don't know if
1803 house, apparently there is a sliver of land that we don't own up to the creek. They kind of probably assumed that we did. Yeah, do you have the?
No, but here's the creek. And then the property boundary is something like this.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the streets over here. So this is the creek. And they want to plant a garden. Well, this is grass. And then here's, let's say this is the creek here. They want to make the boundary here versus here, which is maybe like 10 foot on each side.
Yeah, that's what he said. It's like 10 by 80 by possibly 100 feet long.
Now, the thing is, there's two things here. First of all, Rodale's trying to sell that property, okay? We're trying to sell the building, I guess.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You didn't say that before.
And I didn't remember that until this morning when somebody reminded me of that. Or no, it was last night, I'm sorry. It was last night. Nate Brown had reminded me that they're trying to sell that property that they have. So it's kind of one crack at probably trying to get it if you really want it. They want to plant, like he said, a garden back there. When they were looking at what they wanted to do, they realized that that's not our property. So,
Generations.
right, 7 generations. So what they did was they went to Rodale and asked them.
It crosses over somewhere where it's actually on both parts.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Where is the majority of it? Because that part I don't remember. Was majority of the garden on the 1803 or Rodale?
I think the majority of it was on. No, I think it was on Rodale. Yeah, I think the majority of it was on the Rodale side. So they went to Rodale and asked them. Rodale has no problem as long as they foot the bill for legal expenses, engineering, because they have to do a property boundary adjustment.
When you say that 1803.
Well, it would be
It would be us and
it would be us. We would be the ones that would own it now. We're not. I told them that we weren't going to pay anything. They'd have to do that, and they understood that. They're working with an engineer. I guess he's kind of done some quasi plans already. But I told him he had to give everything to me in writing, and you guys are the ones that really needed to make that decision. Brent brought up, a pretty good argument last night about it, and that was that that is taxable property.
Commercial.
Is there really a need to take that property, or isn't there?
I mean, we have to, if we take that over, that's another part that has to be mowed out, whether the 1803 would be responsible for mowing that or the borough. So that's an added expense for mowing the
Maintenance
grass.
always.
Well, I think it's probably already mowed.
And it is commercial parking. I said, I
Yeah.
don't care if it's $100.
I think we already maintain it. I think it's probably,
Okay, so-
because nobody realized where that, we,
The boundary line.
yeah, they probably all thought the creek line was the boundary line.
Which normally is.
Yeah.
Normally is.
But that was my view. I said, why change it? I said, if they want to plant the garden, just go to the rodeo and get permission from rodeo.
Why?
Yeah. And what, we don't need to take the property over and take it off the tax rolls. I mean, but I didn't know it was being sold too. So whoever buys it, you know, that would be contributing to the,
I'm just so
that's just my view. I mean, there were opposing views on that. It was only Brian and I, because Wes wasn't there.
So what they I told them there was no use voting on it. So they tabled it, to talk about it when they had a majority, because why vote 1-1?
Okay, any other new business? Okay,
Are we going to vote on these, or we have already?
we did those at the last meeting, those are already done. Okay, we're going to go into an executive session. Items to, okay.